animal and nature assisted awakening. We gather with intention. We gather with welcome upon our breath. Breathing in the deepest welcome to ourself, all parts of ourself. And breathing out the widest scope of welcoming to one another. Feel how this lifts the heart. And feel the interbreathing naturalness of your being with all of nature. Breathing a welcome deeper into this field of presence. We're presencing. Your presence sings. The nature essence of each being of nature sings. Its presence sings. So thank you for joining the symphony as a nature being. This month, all month long, every Sunday we will gather, and you all are setting the foundation for this dive into exploring, uncovering, activating a quality of nature that is quite distorted in human animal beings, but is working its way back to simplicity again through us. And that is humility, true humility. Who is the breath? Let us uncover true humility together and see what emerges today. With the assistance of all of nature. How blessed are we? As my feet stand on the moistened soil here in Northern California, on the Ohlone tribal land, feeling held, allowing your feet to breathe with the land beneath you. Held by this verdant blue-green body of love. By the force of gravity itself. We meet here. And the beautiful herd of light are finishing up their second breakfast. And they are here presencing with us. So let's call in and feel the call of this herd of light that extends as one herd with all nature beings. Yoshi, we thank you for being here. Teddy, Pause. Khalil. And always hiding, but ever present, Travis. And an unseen pole star being who is here with us. Omar, who is the pole star of this little herd of light. No longer in his majestic black horse form, but fully here in presence. And let's just hold a moment of silence and call in just feel the call in your heart of your most beloved companion, nature beings along the way. Those beings of love that open your heart wider and wider and wider than you ever knew. Some may be in their beautiful nature forms, visible to the naked eye. Some may have flown free from their earth bodies and are visible, palpably present with the inner eye. Just feel them all converging all at once and breathe in and out. This intimate welcome and love. And let's feel the presence of the trees. The standing still ones. Let's feel the presence and open to the call of the winged one. The songbirds, the birds of prey, the butterflies, the fae, and the invisible sprites, the nature spirit. Let's feel the presence of the sky, the cloud beings, the stars, the sun, the moon, and all of space in its glorious, vast sentience. The dirt and soil, the mycelium, the world beneath and above and east and west, the elements of earth and water, within and without, fire and air, within and without, and ether. And all of the miracles of nature. That have sparked a remembrance, a clearer remembering within yourself of who you are and your place here as a nature being. And lest we not forget our human animal family, our ever evolving human family. Let's call all in to breathe and interbreathe with all of nature, presencing together. And so it is. Now feel your breath of welcoming all parts of yourself. As it breathes in and as you overflow this welcome out to each being here, you may just take a look around at this beautiful family gathered in a nucleus of intention. I'm so joyful to be here with you, if you can't tell. And although my physical body is not very 100%, yet there are so many other parts that are so much better than ever before. So this word is not a concept, beloveds. When we bring a word here, it's a transmission, like an essential oil, like the pine needles and their essence oil, or the lotus flower and her essence, or the rose, or the horse's mane, or the ocean smell of the sea. The word humility. Let's just, for a moment, set it free from a concept, but really begin to bathe in the beauty of this frequency together. And that's what these transmissions are intended to do. Because at this phase of our evolution, we are still using words. But there's so much wordlessness, speaking, silence in between the words that we tune together to nature. Something opens in us and we can hear silence speaking together in our own way. Charlie races through the corral with a freshly claimed persimmon. Yay, Charlie. Yeah. And all of nature sings. Though the first two letters of the word are very sacred, Ooh, like the wind. Ooh, humility. And I will tell you, I I'm in love with humility right now. I have been so humbled through this illness. And it has been such a blessing. And I know we have all gone through humbling. Let's really explore what it means to become our true self, our true nature of humility. I will share now the transmissions in words, but really allow your mind to just breathe them in a new way. So these transmissions sometimes come through from the whole undistinguishable heart of nature consciousness. And sometimes they come through on a little bit of a different flavor of an individual, collective, or being. So if I don't name who this transmission is from, please just feel the heart of your own true nature as one with nature, speaking, transceiving, receiving, and transmitting all as one flow here. So from the heart of nature, consciousness, the sentience of nature, nature's heart, let us begin by acknowledging our sacred, shared, common ground, our sacred, shared, common ground, a common ground of vulnerability, and sit like a boulder, steadfast and loyal, like the rock people, and sit with your vulnerability, sit upon the throne of vulnerability without multitasking away. Just for a breath. To blossom the sweet flower of humility, you must sit with and upon the throne of vulnerability without rushing, multitasking away. Our shared, sacred, common ground of vulnerability. Just sit like a boulder. Open your hips. Feel the earth currents moving through the lower quadrants of your body. And sit in the center of your heart. for a breath. And breathe. Breathe with the sky. Breathe with the soil. Breathe with the trees. This sacred common ground is a portal in to our true nature. To blossom the sweet vibration flower of humility. First, you must come fully into the moment, the here, the now. And know yourself intimately. Into me, I see. Know yourself intimately. To know yourself truly is to befriend your vulnerability. To know yourself fully is to befriend your vulnerability and not cover it up with false reference points of who you think you are, but directly feel the sense of here and now, knowing your true nature. Your vulnerability just may be your greatest strength. Perhaps. So first, you must know here and now. Know yourself. To know yourself truly is to befriend your vulnerability and not cover it with false reference points of who you think you are or have been told you are, but to directly feel, sense, and know your true nature. Your vulnerability just may be your greatest strength. For you are the interbeingness of all. Why identify with any at all? You are the interbreathing beingness. The who breath of all. The dirt, the air, the fire, the rain, the hoof, the dog tongue, the claw, the muzzle, the mane. Can you in this moment feel yourself as all? Identify as all at once, and notice when you follow the pathway of self-reference point straight to the doorway of being all simultaneously, you naturally cancel yourself out. Find yourself here, now, in this higher mathematics of canceling yourself out. For you are the equation itself and the answerless answer. Just, again, let your brain go to mush if it needs to. Don't try to understand the sound of one hand clapping. Just feel. Just feel. You are the interbeingness of all. Why identify with anything at all? The dirt, the air, the fire, the rain, the hoof, the claw, the muzzle, the mane. In this moment, this eternal now, feel out at all. Even dare to identify, even dare to audacious identify as all. All at once. And notice when you follow the pathway of self-reference point straight through this doorway of being all simultaneously, you naturally cancel yourself out. Find yourself here now in this higher mathematics of canceling yourself out, for you are the equation itself and the answerless answer. And when you begin to experience yourself as this higher mathematics of being the sum and all its parts, a unitive reality as who you are is remembered within you. A unitive reality of who you are is remembered as you. And Charlie is so happy he's playing with his favorite recyclable because it's his toy. plastic water jug. So if you hear a crinkle, crinkle, maybe you can translate it as joy rather than annoyance. A unitive reality as who you are is remembered. We meet you there. All of nature meets you there in this unitive field. No you nor I in this field of being, the equation and the sum of its parts. What could be more humbling and more worthy than being that? We meet you there. In this unitive field. Know you. Know me. In this field of being the equation and the sum of its parts. The answerless answer. What could be more humbling and more worthy than being that? So let's breathe this in now with Travis as this pole star anchor. And with all of nature, interbreathe as one, as you. Now, some of you have heard this transmission before. It's one of my most favorites. And it's born anew right now. Just see what it feels like when it comes through now, here. It's from Earthworm. I know many of you will be hearing it for the first time. All of us are. In truth. Ah. From Earthworm. Sentience takes care of itself. You are not needed. You are not needed. You are not needed in the way you think you are. Can you take this in? Take this in. Notice the dance of resistance to this truth, this humbling, freeing truth that you are not needed. That sentience takes care of all perfect, brilliant, with supreme intelligence. Now rest your weary head on the soft compost pillow of truth. You're not needed in the way you think you are. Those ways that seem so futile. Can you take this in and notice the dance of resistance to this truth? You're intimate with the vulnerability. This humbling, freeing truth that you are not needed, that sentience takes care of all brilliantly, perfectly, with supreme intelligence. Now rest. Rest your weary head on this soft compost pillow of truth. Take a moment to rest. Yeah. Our weary head together on this compost pillow. It's hard. And all of nature. So I will share one more transmission before we assimilate a little deeper. Sorry. Humility is an expanded state of being. Are you starting to taste it? Feel it singing? It's an expanded state of being. It's your true nature. Humility is the frequency of nature. Humility is the frequency of nature itself. If it does not feel expansive, it is not true humility. but the ego's self-created reins of being reined in by itself. If humility feels contracted, it is not humility, but the ego's self-created reins of being reined in by itself. Humility has been so cleverly distorted by much of the human ego collective as a subtle strategy to keep the ego fed through the illusion of worthlessness. Humility has been cleverly hijacked by much of the human ego collective as a subtle strategy to keep the ego fed through the illusion of worthlessness. This false humility created by the ego is a contraction that gives birth to the delusion of worthlessness. The pure, undistorted vibration of humility. The pure, undistorted vibration of humility is a soft, radiant expansiveness. And it is the byproduct of the soul's inherent seeing of its inherent worth. The pure, essential oil of humility, undistorted, is a soft, radiant expansiveness, and is the byproduct of the soul's inherent seeing of its inherent worth, its clear self-seeing of its inherent worth, a worthiness that simply exists for no reason. It is beyond reason, yet spontaneously bloom from the soil of vulnerability. A worthiness that simply exists for no reason. It is beyond reason, yet spontaneously blooms from the soil of vulnerability. Blossoming from the seeds encoded with the light of the truth of who you are. Encoded seeds of light blossoming from the soil of vulnerability. Seeds encoded with the light of the truth of who you are. Thank you again, one and all in one, for being here. We feel your heart. Let's breathe in, deeply receiving. Whatever it is you need, receive it. It's here. And let's ripple out this nourishment to the whole. On the syllable who, gratitude, 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 and muzzle to the earth, gratitude. Thank you for joining this co-creation today.